Hello friends, welcome to newspaper discussion. The first article that we are going to discuss today is the article on Niti Aayog's Sustainable Development Goals Index, or simply the Niti Aayog's Index on Sustainable Development Goals. Niti Aayog report says that there is a significant improvement in certain sustainable development goals, particularly goals relating to clean energy, urban development, and health in 2020. Right? So, however, there are certain declines in areas of industry, innovation, and infrastructure, as well as a decent work on economic growth. So, our Niti Aayog report on sustainable development goals presents a clear picture of both ups and downs. On one hand, on certain goals, there is an improvement, and on the other hand, particularly those goals dealing with economic performance, infrastructure, in innovations, right, they are on a declining trend. So this is the trend that is observed from the Niti Aayog's report. Take the performance of the states on these sustainable development goals. Kerala retained its position at the top, right, in the third edition of the index with a score of 75, followed by Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh, right, which scored, both the states have scored 32 points, right. So however, right, there are states like Bihar, Jharkhand, and Assam which are at the bottom of the list. So overall, we can say that there is improved performance of the states when compared to the last year's performance. So when we compare with the previous year's performance, so overall every state has performed well, right? With states like Mizoram and Haryana showing a biggest gains, right? So we all know that these 17 sustainable development goals have to be achieved by the year 2030. So 2030 is the deadline for achieving these goals. So this composite index on sustainable development goals, right, was started compiling from 2018. That is, the Niti Aayog has launched its index in 2018 to monitor the country's progress on the goals through data driven assessment and to foster a competitive spirit among the states and union territories in achieving them, right. So but the 2020 assessment is somewhat different from the previous year's assessment, right. So the indicators, the criteria that is used in 2020 is different from the criteria that is used in 2019. So in 2019, the indicators for inequalities included growth rates for household expenditure, right, per capita among the bottom 40% of rural and urban population, as well as Gini coefficient, right. Whereas in 2018, Niti Aayog has included the Palma ratio, right, another metric for income inequalities. So we can say that in previous 2 years editions, that is in 2018 as well as in 19, the Niti Aayog has used, right, Gini coefficient, Palma ratio, right, to measure these inequalities, right. So but this is absent in the 2020 edition. So in 2020 edition, the Niti Aayog has come with a different criteria, right. So this can be a reason for variation in the performance of the states. So if we look at the performance of the states, right, so these are the states which have topped on these parameters. On the parameter of poverty, it is Tamil Nadu. On the parameter of zero hunger, it is Kerala. On the parameter of good health and well-being, it is Gujarat. Quality education, it is Kerala. Gender equality, it is Chhattisgarh. Clean water and sanitation, it is Goa. Decent work and economic growth, Himachal Pradesh. Industry, innovation and infrastructure, it is Gujarat. Reduced inequalities, Meghalaya. sustainable cities and communities, Punjab; responsible consumption and production, Tripura; climate action, Odisha; life below water, Odisha; life on land, Arunachal Pradesh; peace, justice and strong institutions, it is Uttarakhand. So when we see the overall performance, right, it is Kerala which is top with 75% of points, right? So the highest weightage is of 100 points. So out of 100, right, Kerala has topped with 75, right? So on most of the parameters, it is Kerala which showed an improved performance. A score of 100 implies that states and union territories achieved targets for 2030, right? With 0 implying, right, bottom of the table. So 100 implying at the top of the table and 0 implying at the bottom of the table, right? So this is the news on sustainable development goals achieved in India, right? So let us go into the basics of this article, so which are more potential to be asked in UPSC exam and other competitive exams. Let's say, for example, what are the different sustainable developmental goals? All right, so if you take these different goals, goal number 1, no poverty; goal number 2, zero hunger; goal number 3, good health and well-being; goal number 4, quality education; goal number 5, gender equality; goal number 6, clean water and sanitation; goal number 7, affordable and clean energy; goal number 8, decent work and economic growth; goal number 9, it is industry, innovation and infrastructure; goal number 10, it is reduced inequalities; goal number 11, it is sustainable cities and communities; goal number 12, it is responsible consumption and production; goal number 13, it is climate action; goal number 14, it is life below water; goal number 15, life on the land; goal number 16, it is peace and justice, strong institutions; and the last goal, that is goal number 17, partnerships for the goals. So these are the 17 goals, right, which are actually prescribed by UN, and every country is required to achieve this goal by the end of 2015. But because of different reasons, so this target year was extended till 2030. So the government of India has mandated to achieve these goals by the end of 2030. So these are different sustainable developmental goals. Coming to other points of importance, so coming to the measurement of inequalities, economic inequalities. So we have Lorenz curve. So Lorenz curve is a graphical representation of distribution of income within a given population, where the percentage of population are plotted against the percentage of income. Right? So it is a widely used measure to determine the inequalities in a given nation, in a given society. Right? So same is Gini index. Same is Gini index. Even Gini index is a measure of distribution of income across a population. It indicates a greater inequalities, with high income individuals, right, receiving much larger percentage of total income of the population, right? So both this Lorenz curve and the Gini coefficient are used to measure the economic inequality. Simply I'll give you a plot. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. So x-axis denotes the percentage of population who are plotted against their share of wealth or their share of income, right? So let it be at 10. So here just it is for explanation: 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Similarly 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So 10% population contributing 50% of income, 10%, 20% or so. That is how we can plot, right? So a perfect 45-degree line, a perfect 45-degree line denotes line of equality. A perfect 45-degree line denotes a line of equality. If it is either less or more, right? So this is the line of equality, either less than this or more than this. It shows inequalities, it denotes inequalities, right? So this is what the Gini coefficient and even the Lorentz curve, right? So at the same time, in this article we have a mention of Palma ratio. So Palma ratio is again a measure of inequality. It is nothing but the ratio of the richest 10% of population's share in the gross national income to that of poorest 40% share. Simply it is about a ratio of gross national income of 10 richest people, 10 richest population to that of, right, gross national income of 40%, the lowest 40% population. It is simply a gross national income of 10 richest and 40% who are at the bottom of the population. So which gives, right, an inequality. If this ratio is high, it denotes inequality is being high. If this ratio is less, then the inequality is remaining less, right? So this is about the